Therefore, being always, now we're going to get into this. This is something that the church has gotten so screwed up, and I want to clean it up for you, okay? Therefore, being always of good courage, and knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from the master. For we walk by belief and not by sight. We are of good courage and are well pleased rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the master. What in the world is that all about? Is that talking about going to heaven? Don't be ridiculous. Okay, that's not what it's talking about. Look at the context of everything he's been talking about. The inward man, the outward man, that which needs to die so that can then live. He's saying that when I'm present in my body, in other words, I'm all focused on being flesh, I'm away from him. I'm not thinking about him. I'm absent my relationship with him. But when I'm absent the body, in other words, not literally outside of the body, but when the body, my flesh is not my focus, when the flesh is not driving all my thoughts and actions, then I'm present with him. Okay? It's not talking about literally you being out of your body and going physically being present with him. Because that's not what he's been talking about up to this point. Context is everything. Context is everything, right? That's why I read from chapter 4. Because he's been making this point now for a little while here, all through chapter 4 into chapter 5. And actually probably back to the beginning of the whole letter. And so you can see he's talking about, I have good news for you. We have the earnest of, or this pledge of what is to come. It's called the Ruach, the Spirit. It helps us to understand and see and brings to remembrance things that he has been showing us. It reveals things, not through just straight revelation, but when a teacher teaches and then you go, oh, remember he says we've been giving good news and a lot of people aren't getting it. Why aren't they getting it? Because the Ruach is not revealing. The Ruach is the power source that the Father uses to reveal. And so he's given you something that connects you to him for revelation. Information being revealed to you that you can then take and apply in your life, okay? Now, so snuck in the middle of that, he says, for we walk by belief and not by sight. Now, he's still talking about walking. So as we walk this out, by belief, we don't see that body yet. We can't see any of the stuff in the heavenlies yet. But we're going to walk knowing that that's what is his desire for us, and our desire should also be for that. That's what he said. We long for, we're groaning for this. But we're walking by faith, by belief, believing that if we walk this way, we will receive that. But we have to be absent the body to do that. And a lot of us, especially when the body is not doing what you'd like it to be doing, okay? Realize that that's okay. Be absent the body. Focus on him. Focus on what's coming. Knowing full well that this thing is going to be the junk that it is. And actually, I don't want to disrespect him. He made this junk. But you were meant to have this for this part of the journey. This is your vehicle for this part of the journey, okay? Maybe you didn't get an excellent car that had better mileage than somebody else or whatever it could do, but this is yours. And it was good enough to get you from point A to point B. Okay? We used to talk about this as a young adult, you know, the idea between having a car and transportation. Okay? Because transportation just got you from point A to point B. It wasn't something you wanted your friends to even know you owned. But it worked, and it got you there. And one day you hope to get a car, something nicer, something you can show everybody. Okay? But that's the way we have this life. At the very minimum, he gave you transportation. It's good enough to get you from point A to point B and what you need to get done. Okay? So he says, again, this idea of, therefore, verse 6, being always of good courage, and knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from the master. Now he sticks in the middle there, for we walk by belief, not sight. We're of good courage because we know this, that and should be well pleased rather to be absent from our bodies to be present with him. Present here. Your focus. Be present here. The body can distract you from being focused on him. The flesh, the world, and all the other things can definitely be distractions from being focused on him. You know, when things are going bad in your life, you know where depression comes from? Being focused on what isn't working. But if you focus on what will work, could work, is working, There's always, as Elder said during the praise and prayer, there's always something to praise. He says, let all flesh, whether you're depressed or not, whatever, praise him. Everybody should be praising him. But it's awful right now. But you're still on the journey. That's a praise. It ain't over. That's a praise. Okay? There's more you could be doing going forward. That's a praise. But your focus, all right? If you only focus on what isn't working and what you can't do or what you think you can't do, then you're not going to get anywhere. What if you could focus on something more positive? You know, we have in, give me 1 second, turn over a couple of books here. So in Philippians 4, 18, you know, he says, indeed, I have all more than enough. I've been filled, have received from Epaphroditus what you sent, a sweet-smelling fragrance, an accepting offering, well-pleasing Elohim. And my Elohim shall fill all your need according to his riches. Okay? No, I'm sorry. I wanted to go to, verse 8, not 18. Went to the wrong verse. I had the right number in my head. For the rest, brothers, whatever is true, noble, righteous, clean, lovely, of good report, has any sort of uprightness, he says, if there's any praise, focus on these. Now, he didn't say there is a ton of this stuff. He said, look for whatever is true. Look for whatever is noble. There's got to be something in there somewhere. Look for whatever is righteous, clean, lovely, of good report, of any right. He's not saying just focus on good, this, that. He's whatever is. He knows it's not going to necessarily always be easy to find it. Find it and focus on it. He says, think on these things. He says, and what you have learned and received and heard and saw in me, practice these, and the Elohim of peace shall be with you. He's saying not just that Elohim would be with you. He's saying that the Elohim will bring shalom to you. You will find your peace, you'll find your shalom when you focus on these. Okay? That's good news. That connects up very much with what Paul's saying in Corinthians, all right, in 2 Corinthians.